sun's out, no wind.
Is it nice down there?
Life's out. Sorry?
Is it nice down there, down at Tuncurry?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a bit cool in the mornings.
Yeah.
There's obviously a bit of cool weather getting around the hills, but it's been good.
Oh, awesome.
Been really good.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks for taking a bit of time out to have a quick chat with us. We
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, Tony's actually in hospital today. He had to go in to get some surgery, so it's just the two of us. Yeah, he's had a bit of a bad run. But
I've got to take off probably at about 1:45 for a dental appointment. So
that's perfect.
I've been munching codeine over the weekend, and it's good now. But
well, we'll keep it super brief. I was just gonna share a couple of the pictures we've got from a couple of the installs, and just ask a couple of questions, and just keep it super brief and simple. Your experience is going to help us so much. So we just really appreciate your time, hey. So
that's fine. No, I've had the boys. I got your message the other day about sending photos, but I've had the boys down there weeding the gardens.
That's okay.
I was like,
no, that's good. No, fantastic. Well, I'll start the record and we'll get it going. So basically, Alex, you're the manager at Reflections in Tuncurry?
Yes.
Fantastic. Oh, that's great. Beautiful park. I was having a look at it before. It's just a beautiful spot.
Yeah, it's a nice big park, nice and flat, easy to get to.
Yeah, fantastic.
Get out of.
Nice. I've got a little picture of it up there. I'll just share my screen with you so you can see the kind of images that I was pulling up. So so this is the park's website, I believe, here. It's got that's us. Yeah, very nice. That's on all the ocean there, and you guys are directly in front of it. Yeah, so beautiful. Fantastic. So I guess the first pic I was going to show is we'll get to the pics in a second. I was just going to ask you. So what was the original reason why you sort of wanted to go with the Recyclit system? What was your first sort of? Were you searching for something and you sort of stumbled across it? Or?
We had an issue in the park where these cabins we're looking at now have not much room for rubbish bins.
Yeah.
So when we first took over, they had a small rubbish bin under the sink, which was like a 5 or 10 litre bin for a cabin that was holding up to 5 people for extended periods. So the bins were having to be changed by the guests fairly regularly.
Gotcha.
So we put larger bins in.
Yeah.
But they had to sit directly inside the door. So as you arrived to those cabins, the first thing you were greeted by was a white plastic rubbish bin with a rubbish liner in it.
Yeah.
And we sort of changed the bins, went to chrome bins, went to nice looking bins, moved them around the cabin. There was no real fit for them. And I think I'd been away to like a hotel and they had a rubbish chute, like in general, out in the like an industrial rubbish chute installed in the hotel.
Yep.
And it just sparked a thought, and I just was like, I wonder if there is like a rubbish system that you can just poke stuff out. Literally Googled it, and the system popped up.
Wow.
I read through it, and then kind of actually just sort of got away from it and just went, okay, that's a good idea.
Yep.
Put it on the back burner. And then it just started popping up on social media for me, as that sort of thing does. And it sort of became an issue. We had a few complaints come through with smell of bins, some of the older guests having to carry bags down to bins, and that sort of thing. So I said, but hang on, there was an idea I seen back a couple of months. And that's when I really sort of got hold of Tony and said, hey, look, I'm interested in this system, and I want to have a look at it. So it just sort of ran from there. Had to obviously go through our head office and get some approval and talk to them about it. But
fantastic. That's great. And I guess like the systems here, I'll show you the reverse side. We've got an example here. So we got the 2 here on the right and then the 1 on the left. Obviously just spacing around the window being the the variable, I guess. And so this is before you guys would have installed like a pad or maybe some kind of like pavers. So what did you end up going with for the base? This is obviously midway through.
So originally we were hoping that a crushed granite system for the base of the bin was going to work.
Yeah.
We were tentative to put a concrete pad down because we're on sand.
Yeah.
And the fear was that the concrete would move and then leave a gap at the top of the bins to the system.
Yes.
So we just went with crushed granite, but very quickly found out that the crusher moves every time you pull the bin out.
Oh, yeah.
And especially if it's rained. So very quickly realised that wasn't going to work. We needed something more solid.
Yeah.
But also something that could be corrected should it move.
Yes.
So it became definitely a pavers with crusher under it to give it a good solid base. So
do you go for like a big 600 by like 600 or even bigger?
Yeah, big 600 by 600 paver.
Yeah.
Just mainly to give it some weight so they don't move and they're as even as you can possibly get them.
Yeah, fantastic.
And you use about, in that space, there's probably anywhere between 8 and 10 of those pavers.
Yeah.
In that space, because you need enough room to pull them out.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Oh, that's good. And have you found at the moment in relation to the way it sort of helps your waste management system, you've got 3 here. So what have you got assigned to each different chute at the moment?
Originally it was the thought of recycling rubbish and green waste.
Yep.
And we actually got down the track and got a little bit ahead of ourselves and realised that this town and postcode don't have a green waste system for the local rubbish collectors.
Yep. Fair enough,
That in hindsight, we should have had that done a little bit early, but these are the things you do.
That's fair enough.
So now it is being used as collecting bottles and cans for a return and earn.
Fantastic. And how have you found? So one of them's dedicated to a return and earn system?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So, it'll just create another little revenue stream or some sort of thing for charity or something we can use like that for the community. So.
Fantastic. That's great. And at the moment, have you found it to improve? Like, what kind of improvements have you seen in the use of the cabins or even the waste management process since having Recyclit from just a day-to-day perspective?
Yeah, definitely easier to use for the guests. Yeah. They don't no longer have to walk a rubbish bag down the street 2-3 times a day to the bin.
Yeah.
And especially for the older guests.
Yeah.
It's cleaner. Even the cleaners go through those cabins. They said, look, it's super easy. It's super clean. There's no smelly rubbish bin.
Yeah.
You're not worrying about that smell you get from a rubbish bin inside a cabin.
Yeah.
It always cleans up nicely.
Yeah.
And then from the other side, the boys come and collect that every 2 days.
Yep.
Regardless of whether the bin's full or not.
Yep.
There was a conversation around removing full rubbish bags, which would actually be quite cumbersome. So regular emptying is done, but that's with no impact to the guest. So the guest doesn't need to be made aware or doesn't need to know that you're pulling bags out of bins or anything like that. That can just be done on your own time schedule.
Yeah, nice.
At any time of the day, really.
Yep. Perfect.
And
that's great.
There's no pests or flies or smell or anything like that coming out of them.
That's good. And at the moment, I think Tony was telling me that you've sort of started off with having the bin liner inside imagine that the 240 litre bin was outside under here. You have a plastic bin liner inside the actual rubbish bin chute that has your general rubbish just to keep the bin clean. Of course, there's another option too where some clients like to have like a little like a 5 litre tidy inside the kitchen. Say for example on this side they'll have like a little minor bin with a little biodegradable bag in it, and then they'll scrape into that and put that down the chute. But if you don't want to do that at all, you can just put the scraps directly into the chute, or you can put it into some newspaper and then into the chute. We find that the little scrape bin system works really well if it's somewhere obvious. That way, people, when they're having their dinner, they just scrape into the little biodegradable bag. It's only a 5 litre sort of thing, so it's quite small, and then that just gets tied up and then chucked down the chute because it's biodegradable. So at the moment, have you been going for the bin bag in the? How do we find that?
We haven't put the bins. We haven't been putting the chute. We tried with putting the bag in the chute.
Yep.
It's difficult to get it to stay there properly.
Yes.
And we were using a compostable 240 litre bag.
Yep.
Which doesn't have a very how to say it. It's not a gloss plastic. It's a matte plastic, so things don't slide down it very well.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
So things tend to hang in the chute, even though it's on plastic and it's not on the product. They tend to stick.
Yep.
So the 5 litre bin will be our next move.
Yep.
And we'll be using the same little green compostable bags that we use.
Yeah.
And we use green 240 litre compostables in the actual bins themselves as well. So
nice.
Just trying to reduce that footprint.
I think that you'll find that the guests will really like just if we could imagine in the sink here, like if they were like finishing up their dinner and they had like food scraps, if they just sort of like scrape into that little 5 litre bin that has the little biodegradable bag in it, that's getting rid of the bulk of the mess. And then, come the end of the night, that little thing fills up. They just tie a little knot in it, put it down there on the chute on the left, for example, and then the actual chute's kept clean. Plus, the whole process is just seamless for them. And all the big stuff is getting dealt with at the source. Like if you got a big milk bottle, that goes straight in. So I feel like, and I think have you got the little circle? You see if you can see on the screen at the moment, we've got little circle etchings.
We've got little circle stickers.
Yep.
We did have a little bit of an issue because they are slightly bigger than the indent that's in the flap.
Yep.
So we've now attached them to the upper right corner.
Oh, okay, interesting. That's good feedback. Yep.
Mainly to keep a bit of a. We did put them on the top left. It looked all good with the other circle there.
Yep.
So we've kept them in a bit of a line running bottom left to top right. Just
gotcha.
To give it some sort of aesthetically pleasing, I guess.
Yeah. Nice.
But all those are on. They must be like maybe a millimetre or a millimetre and a half, just too big for that.
Yeah. That's good feedback. We might get them reshaped just to bring them down ever so slightly for a better fit. It's good feedback.
Yeah, and the sticky that's on the back of them.
Yep.
Is it might need to be more of a like the padded double-sided tape.
Oh yeah.
Just because we find when you put two flat surfaces together.
Yep.
With that tape, if there's any slight imperfection.
Yep.
It won't stick, and it'll end up coming off because you get dust and stuff in behind there. It'll eventually pop off. So maybe something a little bit like with a bit of body to it. It wouldn't have to be like thick, but just a little bit. But
no, that's good feedback. Like a bit of double-sided tape, so maybe a thin double-sided tape with a bit of 3M double-sided tape that's a bit stronger.
Yeah, just have a little bit of padding in behind, just so that when you stick it on, it's stuck. Well, those two surfaces don't interfere with each other.
Fantastic. And the other question I was going to ask too, like if you were to, the first question, would you recommend it, I guess, to other holiday parks? What's your feedback for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it for caravan parks, especially with the whole environmental thing being such a front of the industry at the moment. Anything where you're trying to reduce that environmental impact. And giving customers ease of use. Who wants to go on holiday and walk their rubbish to the bin $2 a day?
100%.
You've just got to take that. It's all, for me, everything is customer focused, and anything you can do to make their stay. It probably adds 2 hours a week to your roster because you have to go clear the bins out. but you're not getting the complaints.
Yeah.
You're not getting the negativity of having a smelly bin in your cabin.
Yes.
It looks pleasing in the cabin. Even the retrofitted ones, like I know they're spaced out across the kitchen and they're a little bit awkward, but they're clean, they're tidy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Products, so.
And look, and you guys have got fantastic Google reviews, so obviously you've got a great park. And I mean, I think that's really fantastic to have such customer focus, because at the end of the day, especially with the way everything's online now, everyone's they're so well connected. And if you can make someone's life just that little bit more enjoyable on their stay, how much better. And I every time I've stayed in a holiday park as well, I think that's been the challenge too. Like, you do find that because of the cabins, any cabin is a restricted space, not like a house. So you've got minimal areas where you can store rubbish. So if you've got if you're there for a week, you don't want to be accumulating bottles, and it doesn't make it feel like much of a holiday if you're starting to accumulate that stuff. So having it all go outside into the bins, I think would be really neat.
Yeah, space is always a premium in those cabins.
Yeah.
So anything like that, if it's outside, it's easier.
Fantastic. And I guess the other thing I'd probably ask is, is there anything that the holiday park should be aware of before if they were interested in Recyclit? What would be some preemptive things to think about from your experience so far going through the process with us, to think ahead, to make it a bit easier when it comes to install and stuff like that?
Yeah, my first thing off the bat, and even probably from early in the project, was they would have been a lot easier installed into cabins before delivery.
Yeah.
So going to your cabin manufacturer and saying, hey, I've got this product and want it purposely designed into a cabin, so that you're not thinking about how that marries up with the cabin in your park, so that space is allocated, the footprint and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And because once you've got a cabin where the kitchen's already allocated, you're locked into where those bins can go.
Yes.
And then if that area interferes with roadways or walkways or infrastructure, you can't put them in. You're stuck. So you can see as this one has a driveway on one side.
Yeah.
They were going to go there, and that was mainly the reason. That's the only cabins we've done in the park.
Yeah.
Most of our other cabins in our park don't lend themselves to these systems.
Yeah.
Because of the outside area issues where it runs into walkways and driveways and things like that. So, or other cabins are just physically too close, or things like that. So,
that makes a lot of sense. And if you have this is probably one of your newer sort of looking cabins here, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's one of the newer cabins in our park.
Yeah.
I know Reflections are very active in upgrading their cabin stock at the moment.
Yep.
So it's definitely
and so that's fantastic feedback, and I feel like that really leads into the question I was going to ask, is which you've answered, which is basically if it was already fitted off before the cabin arrives, so retrofitted rather than retrofit, you've got the cabin manufacturer having these factored into the actual design of the kitchen in the cabin. That'd make the process a lot easier, wouldn't it, when you come to...
Even if it's like that kitchen window's lifted up 50 mil to accommodate them underneath the window.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a complete redesign.
Yeah.
But if they can compensate, just put a slightly smaller window in so you can get them in there, or move the window slightly to the left, or...
Fantastic. No, that makes total sense, and I feel like that's right. It's harder to retrofit when you deal with something that's already fixed, because then you're working around what's already there. But I think totally. If this is something rolling out, especially if there's a cycle of new cabins, it'd be the perfect timing to work in with us, and like you said, just get things tweaked ever so slightly, and then you have all the features as well sit there. That's great. I think actually on our website too, we've got a series of installation videos and stuff like that as well, that really help when it comes to factoring in different sizes and stuff like that as well. So I think that's probably something that could be useful. The facts, and there's different documents you can download, but the installation video itself talks about the different heights that we've got. It's like the minimum height off the ground, stuff like that. So this is probably the instruction manual will probably be the most useful. But we do have video in the YouTube that goes into it. But yeah, essentially, like you said, you want to make sure you got those heights right. And if we factored that in with the manufacturer of the cabins themselves, we would be able to work in seamlessly, and they would be already fitted in. You can fit off the inside of it.
The only issue we have with height is glass bottles going.
Yes.
Return and earn bin.
Yes.
The height that we have, most of them break. So we have only placed the plastic bottle sticker on the thing.
Gotcha.
Because the glass ones break in our bin because of the height.
Yeah.
We thought, well, maybe there's something we can put in the chute to retard the fall. Yeah. Like to slow that fall down as they come through the chute.
Yeah.
But I don't know how effective that would be, or how we. You know, then you're looking at potential for blocking a chute.
Yeah. Totally.
So, we just thought about it for 5 seconds and stopped and that's
No,
right.
I totally understand that. We might actually be able to come up with a little rubber flap or something on the return and earn one that sort of slows down on entry. That might be useful just for the bottom underneath
the issue with us, we thought, you could just put bristles like you have on the bottom of it in the chute.
Yeah.
But our issue with that was you have to be very careful, because if you throw an empty Mount Franklin bottle, for instance, in that chute, it's not going to go past the bristles. It's just going to sit there. So it's a tricky one, hey. It's a bit of a don't know. So we didn't come up with any further thoughts on that. We went back to whatever else we were doing.
Yeah, well, we'll have a think about it too. We'll come back and we'll see if we can come up with something that would cater for that too. That's good feedback though. Any other tips? Like, you've given some fantastic feedback for the team, but is there anything else that you'd like to give feedback for the Recyclit team? Or
the only other thing we've got is, because we're in a coastal area and you've got the salt.
Yeah.
We do find that there's a little bit of discoloration coming from like the edges of the product. I wouldn't call it rust, but it's just that sort of, we just go over it with a Caravan spray.
Yes.
Just to get rid of it.
Yep.
But that may need some consideration. For going forward for coastal areas. Whether the powder, I think it's powder coating you've got on them.
Yeah, it's a powder coat.
Whether I don't know how it really works, but even if it was maybe a little bit thicker or just, then I don't know. You might have to talk to the people at powder coat it for that.
No, that's good feedback. We definitely we have that exact technique you do with the Caravan coloured spray. We have been using that as a good touch up for the, like, especially the coastal ones. So we've had some clients that like for 10 years, and they've just been repeating, just hitting it with that every now and then when it's needed, just to keep keep on top of it.
And the only other thing we've had to do was add a rubber flap, like a weather flap, to the front side of the outside bin. 99% of weather doesn't get in it, but we get some coastal storms coming across the lake system. And it forces the rain into the bin to the point where we get nearly a half a foot of water in the bin.
Wow. There you go.
That leading edge now has about 100 to 120 mil rubber flap attached over the handle bit.
Gotcha. So you put an extra rubber.
Stopped it.
Nice.
But we were finding with really heavy wind.
It's coming in there.
We were getting water seepage, and I was actually quite shocked. They said, the bins are full of water. I said, they can't be that bad.
Wow.
I went down there and there was a decent amount in them. So.
Wow, it must have been a big storm too. So it's come in on the angle there and gone through the bristles into the bin.
We get it. I think what's happening is that it's not just the bristles. the rain's being forced against the side of the cabin.
Yeah.
Running down onto those hoods and then running along and then down into the bin.
Okay, yeah.
So the catchment area for the amount of water coming across that hood,
yeah,
the entire side of that building,
yeah,
that runs down.
Yeah. Yeah.
We thought of a couple of things. The rubber thing was the quickest and easiest thing we could think of to attach.
Yes.
To divert the water over the top of the bin.
Yep.
Whether you could have a little ridge running along there,
yeah,
something just to spill water out over the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we put the flaps on. That was easy. That was just riveted them along with a little aluminium strip.
Yeah, nice. And has that helped a lot since you've got the rubber flaps?
Oh, yeah, no water in them now.
Okay, perfect.
A little bit, but nothing that you would. The problem was the water was getting in before and filling the bags up, so you couldn't get the bags out.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But the bags were coming out because they're full of water. So
no, that's a great tip. And that rubber you just got from Bunnings or something like that, and just.
Yeah, just rubber strip from Bunnings. You just buy the rolled up rubber strip. We originally just tried to stick it down with double-sided tape.
Yeah.
It stayed for a couple of weeks and then it sort of started to lift. So we went back and put a aluminium strip and riveted it to the actual down. So
nice.
It's been fine.
Well, Alex, thanks so much for your time and your feedback. I really appreciate it, and like all that is going to be so helpful. We're going to go away and implement some improvements and action some of that too. But I really appreciate all your help, and it sounds like it's been a pretty good solution overall for the park. For you?
Yeah, it has. It's been a really good project. We've had plenty of back and forth, and it's been easy to deal with you guys in regards to any things that have popped up with it, whether it's timing things or just it took a long time to get them in because we had busy cabins and. A lot of back and forth trying to get tradies, and I know one of the guys that was originally installing it left town, so you guys were kind of left in the lurch. So but it's been a good experience all round. So
fantastic. No, thanks so much, Alex, and we look forward to chatting with you soon, and thanks again for your time. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael.
See you, Alex. Bye.